Hey, welcome back. All right, so Saggies, we did a pre-shuffle out of the Egyptian deck and in this case, goddess out of the pantheon that Sag ended up with is associated first off with card 3 in the major arcana, so that would mean the Empress in the Rider-Waite deck. And here, indeed, this is the goddess Mount. There's a couple different spellings, but here they're spelling M-U-T. But the goddess Mount is considered the supreme matriarch. She is the wife of the god of all, Amun Ra. And as that, because she is the wife, she is the supreme mother. That's indeed what her name means. She sits here in a hat that or headpiece that is both red and white, symbolizing she rules over Upper and Lower Egypt, which is basically the entire world. She is also considered, someone benevolent to the traveler on their journey. So we've got a very powerful, possibly divine feminine force in this storytelling. This could represent Sagittarius. This could represent someone in Saggy's life. This could represent there's a wise mother, matriarch, grandmother figure, someone that perhaps would be wise to seek counsel from as well. If Sag is considered to be the traveler in this case, then they may need to seek out the wisdom of the mother figure here. We have 10 of Pentacles, is very family centric right now. We have a family of elves. I feel like I'm wondering if someone like did a whole group costume and photo shoot, like Halloween, where it was like the entire family like got on board, and like even the little baby has little elf ears on. I feel like this is a family that does zany, quirky, fun things together. We have Two of Swords. It's interesting because this is someone, it's going to be an odd story, I can already tell, but we have the story of a character who has maybe always felt like, oh God, my family is so extra. They're so over the top. They're so this, they're so that. And it could be, and this doesn't have to be Sag, bear in mind, we're just telling the story right now. Someone was unable to see how valuable that family group was, especially if they're zany and quirky and, like a little over the top and a little bit, we have Empress again. I'm wondering if forgive me, I always tell the story that I see, good, bad, or ugly. Okay, but do remember, I'm not a psychic, I'm a fictional storyteller. No story has any bearing on anybody's real life. But especially stories that aren't about us, we can contemplate and be like, let me think about that. Is that some cool new food for thought? So bear in mind that's how to observe my stories, right? The reason I preface it that way is because to me, this looks like we have someone, this could have been the mate to an empress who we don't see them as an emperor. We see them as somebody blindfolded, did not see the value in this amazing family that they could have been a part of, did not recognize what they had when they had it. This could be like a wayward child, son, daughter, whatever. Or this could be a mate. We keep seeing, and now we have 2 generations of strong mother energy here. But we have someone who's blinded to the beauty of what this is and the warmth and the camaraderie. And, it's like, it feels as if somebody viewed this incredibly strong, warm, wonderful family almost as if all they could say is, oh, gosh, I just want to break away from all this. And I think, I do think that it's upset whomever our Empress is. You notice her face is a little bit like, well, I would say not a little. It's deeply disappointed. There's a wound there. It's like, I can't believe that all of this they don't see the value in. How is that possible? 7 of Swords. It's interesting. I feel like this is the story of a mother who's very disappointed. They've got wayward child or a romantic partner that, oh, that song, I think it's by Sheena E, I think. Something about you could have been with me instead of alone with nothing. That song is in my head right now. So I don't know if this is like you, how did you not see what we could have had together? Why was all of that abundance that we could have built together, the funny, silly things we could have done for holidays, the amazingness of the family we could have built together, the love we could have shared. How was that something you didn't see? It's so disappointing. The only thing is that there's a lie here. So she either is saying, I don't believe that you didn't see it, or she's lying to herself. And that empresses don't usually lie to themselves if they're an empress in the upright, but we give our characters the same attributes that anybody else has. So an empress can get things wrong too. They're not infallible. After that Seven of Swords, we have a Queen of Wands, we have the Guide, we have the Tower, and we have a Five of Pentacles. I keep seeing somebody walked away from what could have been such a loving, warm, fabulous family, such an amazing connection. They walked away for a lie instead. Maybe they got their head turned by somebody else really attractive instead of staying. The thing is, interesting because this would be Sag, right? An empress thinks that someone couldn't see what a wonderful relationship they could have had together and instead got pulled away by a queen and a lie. The one thing in all of this is that we have an empress who is saying, it's almost like we have an empress who's saying, how could you have chosen Sag instead of all that we could have had? How did Sag, lure you away from all that we could have had? And then they're assuming that that person is now sitting there with nothing and that their life is probably falling apart. What I don't think they realize is that there's something else in all of this. The guides are here for a reason. Someone was guided to go down a particular road for a reason. There's a lesson in all of this. Now, I don't know what the lesson is, but we see an Empress that's a Libra or Taurus energy. We see possibly a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius on that Two of Swords card that chose to not interact with the Empress. And then we have Sag, who seems to have been either chosen or it's Sag that this person keeps wanting to be with. And they're saying it's such a lie, though, you don't belong with Sag, you belong with me. But in this case, it's like an Empress is saying, like, if you don't understand that you're supposed to be with me, if you go be with a Sag, that's because Sag is lying to you that they're so great and you're going to lose it all. If you choose Sag, you'll be, you're going to destroy all of this and you're going to be so unhappy. The only thing is, the guides are here. Someone is listening to their guides, and I don't know that I think it's the Empress. Let me see who's listening to their guides in all this. We have the Star, we have the Four of Cups, we have the Hermit, we have the Judgment card, we have the Ace of Swords. Look, as difficult as this storyline may be, depending on which character we're watching, we have someone who is very certain, and admittedly, this is a great person. This Empress is amazing, okay? But the Empress has made a lot of assumptions that if someone doesn't choose to be in this wonderful Ten of Cups and be a part of the Empress's empire, she has assumed that their life will go into, it'll crumble because they would be choosing Sag instead. And she's not actually giving fair energy to the Sag. Sag came up in the upright, and she's saying, oh, that's a lie. The Sag is upright. Any way we slice it. Someone is listening to their guides, and I'm going to say that it's a person who has perhaps always known that Sag was their wish fulfillment. They have lived in a lot of regret. They have not actually even chosen to be with the Empress. The Empress is trying to persuade someone that she wants to be with her and persuade them to get over Sag. This person does not want to get over Sag. They want to reconcile with Sag. And this Ace of Swords is the truth of that. For some reason, the Empress feels like she can lay claim to someone and, you know, say, how could you not choose to be with me? We'd be so good together. And she's insisting that it's a lie that they think they would be good with Sag, but that's not the case. This is somebody who's listening to their intuition. And their intuition tells them, if Sag is my wish fulfillment, Sag is my unicorn, then I'm going to continuously have a regret that I didn't pursue things with my Sag. As great as an Empress is, I don't want an Empress. I wanted my Sag. That's who I want to reconnect with. And I think them needing to say it out loud, even though this Empress clearly believes, oh, they're so wrong, they're going to discover that they ruin everything with me and that they don't have success with Sag and it's just going to be a disaster. I'm not really sure why this person is so convinced. Now, let me read this in one other way. This could be a mother figure who does not want their son or daughter to pursue Sag. And although this is a loving person, I'm not really sure why they're so certain that they know the right answer and that it's such a lie and that Sag and this person cannot possibly be happy together. That's pretty overbearing for an Empress in the upright. So I'm sure that they mean well, but because they are upright, but they are still trying to make decisions on behalf of someone else. Seven of Wands. So this Empress character does not realize that they're overstepping boundaries. They don't realize they're possibly the ones with the blockage, because the blockage here, Seven of Wands is how we overcome struggles. They're letting their worries overcome everything else instead of them saying, wait a second, every person has to do what they need to do. I'm an Empress. I always do what I need to do. The thing that makes us emperors and empresses and kings and queens is that we choose what we're going to do and we take responsibility for our choices. We also do not coerce others. We do what we must. We lay out a strong foundation. If people choose to interact with us, great. We may have high standards for who we allow in our lives because to a certain extent it is like, if you're going to be in my empire, you kind of got to play by my rules. But at the same time, it's not to coerce someone. It's not to the extent where it's like, well, if you're a part of my life, then I'm going to tell you when to breathe and how deep. It's not like that. But I think that this Empress has not recognized that they're stepping into a territory of they're stepping away from Empress energy and starting to insist that their way must be the correct way. And I don't think that they're correct at all in this. I think they're getting their nose in a place that they don't belong in, which is in someone else's heart. Only a person can choose what they want. And if this character wants to go be with the Sag, it's not really their business. I mean, maybe they have every right to have their opinion and even to express it. Say it as like a mother figure. Of course, moms are going to say what they think. But ultimately, an Empress reels herself back in and says, well, you have to do what you have to do. I've told you what I think. You do what you must. I think that the time has come for this character to tell them, yes, that's what I'm going to do. Now, this could very well be somebody breaking away from a different long-term connection. That Empress could be someone that a character had a long-standing relationship with, and yet regardless, they still want the Sag. So that's who they're returning to. What's the overarching message on all of this? King of Wands, there they are again with the Two of Swords, and there they are with an Emperor. I gotta say, I mean, they see themselves with Sag in the King and Queen of Wands, the perfect match. They don't want to be the Emperor to an Empress. And that's not to say Sag isn't, Empress quality or anything like that. It's just, this is just denoting a totally different relationship. They don't want to be an emperor to an empress. They know what they want. So no matter what it is, maybe this empress is, oh so wealthy, oh so this, also oh so that. Come be with me, we'll run an empire together, we'll be so wealthy. This character says, I don't care about wealth. I care about my Sag. I care about the person that I don't want to be. I feel like they've been heavily pursued by somebody who really kind of like wanted them to choose her, him, her, whomever, um, and they have not wanted to do so. And they're finally, with that Ace of Swords, they're finally saying it out loud, listening to their guides, admitting it, and they are going for the reconciliation with their Sag. This is who they want. This is who they've always wanted. It, all the money, all the fame, all the whatever there is, it doesn't matter. What matters is that they want to be a King of Wands to a Queen of Wands. Now, I don't read for genders, so just bear in mind this could be same-sex couples, could be anything, but this is about listening to one's guides, listening to one's heart, and that's what this character is able to do. They're consistently having to block someone's advances toward them that they don't want, or someone else's advice, and they will be blocking that. They will be going down their own road. So it could be that they're more connected to the cosmic mother figure that says, I want you to be happy. And then we've had that other empress who's shown up who's like, well, I want the best for you too, and I want you to do what I want. And they're saying, no, I listen more to the divine, the truly, I want to be happy. And that means I have to follow my real path, and that's to be with my Sag. All right. Against everything, they pick their Sag, hands down. All right, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye.